Hello, everyone. This is Libby from Cooking with Libby. I am documenting my culinary school experience through video for everybody who is wondering why I'm all of a sudden posting all these videos. um, it is something that I think is important, so not only I can look back on it, but everybody else who has asked me to document this experience can also look back on as well. Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I do realize there's a glare in my glasses from the lighting, and I've tried everything I can to get rid of it, and it's just not working. So, you guys are just going to have to patiently deal with that. So, anyway, let me see. If you are on the Facebook page, then you have seen the few videos I've taken over the course of this week. They're only like 2 minutes long. So, and that's another reason why I decided to do a video on my computer, because it's gonna allow me to talk longer this time. And I may just keep it this way for future reference. I mean, I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But anyway, on Monday, let's see, Monday and Wednesdays I have cooking theory class. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have kitchen lab. So I'll be documenting everything that's going on in that course. I think I had mentioned in the Facebook videos that I am not sure videos are allowed in the lab, and I still haven't asked the chef about that. And I know I should, but I just haven't had time to do that. So I've been documenting my experiences on my own by myself, through video. Anyway. This week in kitchen labs, we learned knife skills and we learned how to do classical cuts. And then in cooking theory class, we learned measurements and everything that needs to go along with measurements. And I think in my video on Monday, I can't remember if it was Monday. Was it Monday? Monday, I had expressed my concern about the measurements and the math. And I was right. It turns out I was right. Chef instructor gave us an impromptu quiz on the actual measurements that we need to know for the class. And she said if you had 3 or more wrong on it, you have to go see the culinary tutor. And yes, this school has an actual culinary arts tutor on site. You can drop in and see her anytime you want, before class or after class, or whenever you have free time. So anyway, chef instructor was telling us that we need to go see the culinary tutor and have her sign the quiz and bring it back to her. So I actually ended up doing that on Wednesday morning because I missed, I want to say 6, because I told you guys math is not my strong suit. So I went to go see her, and I spent 3 hours with her before my class on Wednesday, and she actually helped me a lot. And just to give you examples of what we have to learn, I have a little printout right here, how many quarts are in a gallon, how many pints are in a quart, how many cups are in a pint. We have to know all those. We have to know ounces, how many ounces in a cup, how many ounces in a pint, how many ounces in a quart. And we have to know it really quick because they test us on it, and they'll call out people's names in class and say, let's just say, Samantha, how many gallons are in a quart? Or how many quarts are in a gallon? How many, let's see, pints are in a quart, and you have to, they suggest that the answers come to you really quick. And not only that, we also have to calculate how many tablespoons are in a teaspoon, how many, let's see, if you have 80 ounces, how much is that in pounds? 1 gallon equals how many quarts, 3 gallons equals how many quarts, and then they throw fractions in there, and they put half a gallon is how many quarts, and then 1.5 gallons is how many quarts, and half a cup is how many fluid ounces, things like that. So, so I, needless to say, I had a difficult time with that, and spending 3 hours with the culinary tutor really helped me with that. There's another student that was in there that needed help also. He's also in my theory class, so him and I both were sitting down. I think half of that theory class had to go to the tutor, believe it or not. Um, some of the guys had to go, and it's kind of funny because after the quiz was over with, you look at that everybody who turned in the quiz and those who didn't turn in the quiz and had to go see the tutor, half of them were guys that didn't have to go see the tutor, and then the other half were women. So it was kind of interesting to see that, to see that part of the class. I was like, wow, it made me feel better to know that I wasn't the only one who had to go see her. So anyway, I did that on Wednesday morning, and she spent 3 hours with me, like I said, going over all this stuff, and it's helped a lot. I still have a lot to learn. There's a lot of math. They call it culinary math that you have to learn for this degree, and you have to learn how to break the ingredients down by cost. You have to learn how to convert a recipe, which I'm actually excited about, because they teach you how to convert a recipe from going from a recipe for a family of 4 to a recipe for a family of 50 or 50 people. There's a formula that you have to do for that. So we are learning that as well. We're going to learn that as well. And so I'm excited about doing that. That's going to be fun. So that was in my theory class, and we also learned about stocks and sauces this week. We touched a little bit on it, but I'm sure Chef will be, ooh, that coffee. I'm sure Chef will be touching more on that next week. So anyway, that's what we did in cooking theory today. The kitchen labs, that's another experience that I had to go through this week. We learned knife safety and knife handling. We learned classical cuts and how to make classical cuts. Classical cuts meaning the brunoise cut, the small dice cut, the medium dice cut, the large dice, the bâtonnet cut, and the julienne cut. I'm reading these from a paper, by the way. Each cut has different dimensions. Like the brunoise cut is a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch. The small dice is a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch by a 1/4 inch, and it's all math. The julienne cut is an 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch by 1.5 inch. So we had to cut those, try to make them as precisely as we could this week, and I sucked at it. Mine weren't that great. I look over at the girl next to me, and she's got them all nice, and they're all cut and nicely shaped and formed, and mine are crooked, and it was interesting to see. And then the guy next to me, I think he had his looking really well, except for a few. I can tell a few of them were a little crooked. So but he's definitely better than I am at this point in the class right now. So we had to do that, and then they taught us how to hone our knives from the honing steel, that big, huge stick that you guys get in your knife sets when you buy them. They taught us how to do not sharpen our knives, but hone our knives, with that steel to give them a little bit more boost. We also had to go through lab orientation this week again, and then, of course, the measurement review. Measurements are always going to be... They're always going to do that with us, as far as I've heard. And then the equipment check, they taught us in the beginning of the school, when school started, all about the equipment, like the ovens, the steamers, the immersion blenders, the mixers, the convection and conventional ovens. We had to learn all that. And this is for an industry type of kitchen. This isn't for your regular home kitchen. I mean, these are industry type of machines that we had to learn about. And of course, safety and sanitation, that's always number one. And so we had a quiz on all of those things yesterday in Kitchen Lab. And I ended up getting, the highest you can get is a 10 on all the sections. And I ended up getting a 10 on knife skills. And as you can see, I did not chop off my fingers. And that's what one of the chefs had given me a 10 because he was like, you didn't chop your fingers off, you get a 10. So with that, the classical cuts, I ended up getting a 7, which I'm not too crazy about. I try to aim for at least an 8 or higher, but he gave me a 7, which is better than a 5. So I'm trying to look at it that way, but I know I need to work on that, So on Wednesday afternoon, I actually went out and bought a bag of potatoes at the grocery store. So I'll be doing that this weekend, just kind of chopping them up, trying to figure out how to measure them and, figure that all out. So they said, he wrote down on his little comments, he said, these classical cuts will come with time. So I'm hoping he's right. So, I know with practice, I can get it done. The honing of the knife, I got an 8 on, which I just have to watch my angle with that and make sure the knife hits the steel, which they make it look so easy on TV, and they make it look so easy when the chefs show you how to do it. And then when you actually do it, it's like, okay, how does this go again? So I had a difficult time with that, but he gave me an 8 on that. So, that's okay. And then the lab orientation, I got a 10 on. The measurement review, I believe it or not, I got a 10 on that also. So that's actually awesome because I was really worried about that this week. The equipment check, I got a 10 on. And he made it so easy. All I had to do was put together a KitchenAid mixer. And that's so easy to me. That was so easy. And he made me put it together, and I got a 10. He gave me a 10. So, and he just asked me where certain equipment was around the kitchen labs. So that was pretty easy. And the quiz, I'm still waiting to get back. The safety and sanitation quiz we had to take yesterday, I'm still waiting to get back. But hopefully, I think I probably only missed 2 on there, 2 or 3 questions. I don't think it was more than 2 or 3. So they were basic common sense questions. Like if there's a knife sitting on your table, what do you do? Do you just let it drop, or do you come at it and try to get it? Do you tell one of your classmates to get it? It's just common sense. So hopefully I only missed like 2 or 3 on that one. I know I missed 2 because there were 2 questions that I couldn't remember what chef said about them. So I probably did miss 2 on that. But anyway, so that's how this week went. I'm not going to lie. I really thought that my confidence level was going to, my confidence level this week was pretty down because I couldn't figure out the measurements. And the classical cuts, I had a hard time trying to figure out how to put the ruler with the potato and how to measure the potato. I couldn't figure that out, but I actually figured it out yesterday, believe it or not, when we were practicing. I did it all on my own, and I was so excited because I was like, yes, I did it. So, but my confidence level was really down because there were some people in the class that knew what they were doing, that got all 10s, and some of them have worked in a professional kitchen before, and they knew exactly what they were doing. And then there were some people like me who were struggling. And when you struggle in a class, it makes your confidence level go down. And, just when you thought you knew everything about cooking and everything about, what you feel, about, it just all goes out the door. So, and the chef I have for my theory class actually said that to us. When was it? Wednesday. She had said, well, is your confidence level down yet? Did I break your confidence level down? And, because she knows. And so, she's been through the program before. So, it was a very difficult week, but I survived. And next week is going to be interesting. We're going to learn how to make stocks, homemade stocks and homemade sauces, and like chicken stock, beef stock, nothing from the can, because this program is all about making it homemade, which you can make it homemade at home. You don't need to pay $1,000, a semester to learn how to make chicken stock, but, you know, I want to learn how to make it homemade, and I want to learn how to make it like the chefs make it. And I also, that's not the whole reason why I'm going through this program. My whole goal is to, go through it to open up my own bakery one day. And, in order to get to that, though, I have to take these classes. I have to learn how to make homemade stocks, homemade soups, even though it has nothing to do with baking. It's the basic techniques that every baker and chef need to know about, according to everybody. So, everybody who's been through the program. So, anyway, so next week we'll be doing that. And what else? I think more math, converting recipes, figuring out the ingredient costs of everything. Yeah, so it's a lot of math. It's something that I didn't know that I didn't know that math was going to be part of this program, but it is, and you got to take the good with the bad. And so far, I think I'm doing good. I could be doing better, but I have a husband and I have 2 kids and I have a family. I can only do so much. I try to do what I can, and at the end of the day, that's all I can do. So just as long as I end up getting at least a B in the class, I think I'll be good to go. So my thoughts on culinary school so far, it's been interesting. It's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot of what goes on behind the scenes in a restaurant, and it's not all fun and games. The cooks make it look like it's fun and games, but it's not. It's a lot of work, a lot of manual work. I mean, for Kitchen Labs, I'm on, I'm there for 8 hours a week on my feet, and I think I had mentioned that in the Facebook videos that I'm on my feet for 4 hours. There are breaks, but they're not huge lunch breaks, so to speak. There may be like 10-minute breaks, and they'll let you go to the bathroom, and they'll let you, if you feel like you got to go eat your sandwich, they'll let you go do that, but you can't take any more than 10 or 15 minutes. You have to get back to your station. You have to, get back to what you need to be doing. Physically, it was demanding on me at first because I'm not used to being on my feet for 4 hours straight. It was physically demanding at first, and my feet hurt, and they still kind of hurt. It's very demanding in that aspect, and mentally too, because you have to learn all this math. And it's funny because when you cook at home, you have math when you do at home also, but here in school, culinary school, you have to know that math. You can't just go and Google it, because that's what I do. When I'm at home, I just Google, well, how many, cups do I need, because it says ounces, and Google's really good at helping you with that. And that's what I've been doing all these years. And they will not let you do that in this program. You have to learn it, by memory. So my thoughts so far, it's been interesting. It's been challenging, very challenging. Another issue that I've had lately is the uniforms. You have to keep your uniforms clean. You have to keep them looking good. You can't have any wrinkles in them. You got to look very, very well dressed. And now I know what my husband goes through, because he's in the military, and I know what he goes through now uniform wise, because keeping those suckers clean is very hard, especially when you have to drop kids off and you're doing 10,000 things before your class starts, and you have to make sure you keep it clean. They'll mark points off of you for that. You have to put your hair back, and nobody likes it when, especially with me, I have curly thick hair, and I have to pull it back all the time, and they do that for sanitation reasons. So, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting road so far, but I think hopefully I'll make it. I'll make it through this semester. Talking with my other fellow classmates has been a big help. because I realized that I am not the only one who's struggling in the class. There are others that uh, are trying to figure stuff out too. They have their own issues to figure out. One lady I think she's never, I don't know if she's ever cooked before, but she's pretty young. I have some young ones in the class, and um, she was trying to figure out how to peel a potato. They had to teach her how to peel the potatoes, and then they had to teach her how to, cut them, and so, and then you have people who are on that level, and then you have other people who have been there and done that, and they're on a totally different level, and then you have people like me who are home cooks and are kind of know what's going on, but still need to sharpen their skills. So there's a whole gamut of levels in that class, cooking levels in that kitchen lab class, and listening to everybody talk made me feel a lot better about about myself, and about knowing that I'm not the only one who's struggling to get all this stuff memorized and understood. Um, so yes, so for those of you who've always wanted to go to culinary school, that's what it's all about so far. And I know there's more to it. There's going to be more, setbacks, I'm sure, but so far, it's been challenging, but I'm liking it so far. Like I said, my confidence level was really down this week. I didn't at first think that this is the program that I wanted to do. And I caught myself thinking, oh my gosh, should I just drop out of the program and, go back to being a home cook and a food blogger and all that? Should I just go back to doing that? Because, all these cuts we have to learn how to do, all these measurements we have to learn how to do. Um, it was just overwhelming. And I caught a few students actually, telling everybody that they felt overwhelmed. There were a lot of students that were talking about that this week, how overwhelmed they felt, because they're not only taking the two classes I'm taking, but they're also taking safety and sanitation, and I think one other class. So they're, I took safety and sanitation last semester, and I ended up getting an A. So they probably have it more difficult than me because they have to take all these classes, um, all together. And it's tough. I mean, it's no picnic. I mean, you don't just go in there, roll up your sleeves and start cooking. I mean, there's a lot you have to learn. That's what I'm learning so far. And the funny thing is, before the quiz, they were telling us this is nothing. Because, what they do is when you do your chops, and if you just imagine how intimidating this is. You're sitting here trying to do your julienne julienne cuts and your medium dice cuts, and you're sitting here trying to make them all uniform and all nice, and you got the chefs walking around, the head chef, your instructors walking around the classroom watching you do this. And that's what happened to me yesterday, and I was so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, he's gonna walk around, he's gonna come up to me, and he's gonna say, you suck. And he didn't exactly say that, but he did give me some tips on how to do them better. And so, and I was the one who told him it sucked, because he was coming around. He came to me, and I was like, Chef, these suck. I can't, I'm learning, I'm trying, but these aren't as uniform as I thought they would be. And he told me, he's like, Olivia, it's only the fourth day of class. You have the whole semester to figure out how to do this. Just keep trying, and you'll get the hang of it. So that's what he told me. So and he was like, don't be so hard on yourself. That's what he said. And he was like, it's only the fourth day. That's what he told me yesterday. So it made me feel a little better. But to me, I was just like, oh gosh, these are not remotely what they need to be. And he gave me a 7 on that quiz, the classical cut quiz that we had to do. He gave me a 7. So, there's room for improvement, definitely, to get it to a 10. But at least it's not a 4 or a 3 or a 5, So that's what I'm trying to take away from this experience so far. And that's it. That's this week in a nutshell. Today's Friday, and I am going to enjoy the day with husband man. He's coming to take me out to lunch, and on his lunch break, and I'm going to come home and I'm just going to relax, maybe clean a little, because this house is a wreck. Ever since I started school. I'm not even going to show you guys what it looks like because it's horrible. It's just horrible. And I'll probably spend my day cleaning. But that's okay because, it's something that I enjoy doing. So, um, and that's it. And then this weekend, I'm gonna practice those classical cuts. And I told my daughter that we were gonna have potato soup, lots of potato soup, because I bought a whole bag of potatoes and maybe some potato soup. Maybe I'll plan a meal with using mashed potatoes, maybe some shepherd's pie or something. I don't know. We'll see. But that's how my week is going so far. Um, so yeah. Uh, for those of you who are joining me on this journey, thank you so much. It makes me feel good that I have readers who are joining me on this, and even Husbandman had said that it helped. He's very happy that you guys are joining me on this experience too. Um, for those of you who really don't care and just want the recipes, I totally understand that. But right now at this point in my life, this is what I'm doing, and I do miss blogging about recipes, and I keep telling myself that I'm gonna get at least 2 or 3 out a week, but I don't think honestly that's gonna happen. um, because I'm so tired, by the end of the week, and I've got so much going on, and my daughter's in cheerleading, and we've got so much going on, so I'm just doing the best I can do. So, um, but right now, this is what I'm going to be doing for the next 13 weeks is this semester. So this semester of school, and I have a feeling it's going to be more challenging than it has been so far, and that's okay. So anyway, I will sign off for now and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. Excuse me, and I hope to be back next week telling you all about what happens. And that's it. So I will see you guys around and have a blessed day. Enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and be safe.